Guys, I'm just getting everything ready on the stream. So Facebook is live right now. All right, that's TikTok and all right. So I think that's everybody. I think that's the whole Monty. I think that's the full Monty. I'm gonna get this out because I don't need my tablet right now. I got all kinds of stuff, guys. I got tablets and all kinds of stuff around here. I like six computers around me right now. All right, so I'm going to get into it in just a second. Let me get my last thing set up. Tip out for 1 second, and I will be back here momentarily. I'm just going to let a couple people get in. All right, I'm back. Okay. So thank you guys for stopping in this morning. I think I've got everything. I'm monitoring my Facebook stream. So TikTok, YouTube, I'm locked in. I'm going to be monitoring you guys pretty hardcore right now. That's where most of my activity comes from. I'm going to put this TikTok, down YouTube, right now. I'm going to be monitoring you guys pretty hardcore right now. And let's get into this, right? So today, I wanted to talk about the Deep, right? Obviously, the Deep as a character was probably the worst character on the show. Like, power-wise, he wasn't the worst character on the show, but he was the worst character on the show. Like, we get that. Like, he was just a complete douche. And I hated this guy from the very beginning. Like, absolutely. Like, from the very beginning, I hated the Deep. I was like, yeah, this guy is what the hang on a second, guys. This guy is like the bottom of the barrel, right? Like, absolutely, right? We don't have to guess about him. Like, everything he did, you know what I'm saying? Killing your homies. Compared to Deep. Wow, like, what's going on here? Okay. All right, hang on. I'm just trying to get my notes all lined up here. Oh, the Deep. Okay, so to really get to understand the Deep, I'm going to make some comparisons with who he is, right? I'm going to really talk about what his power is, right? Because despite the fact, like, it's weird, it's kind of a weird phenomenon because almost all the oceanic power guys have kind of seemed like a joke, man. Like, I don't know. Like, when I look at the Deep, and obviously we know this is like a reference to Aquaman, and it was kind of more that Aquaman is a joke within this. Like, the dark side of it is that he's pretty much a joke and he's out there banging fish, right? We get all that. So we immediately understand that in the context of the show, right? Kind of what's going on, right? Let me move this up. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay. So that's important because we're kind of not saying we're saying that the Deep is a douche, but you're kind of like fated to be that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really not be a total, like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of how we look at even the power set, right? Like, the power set, I'm trying to get this thing right. Okay. So it's how we look at the power set. And it's crazy because if we actually separate out the power set from who this person is. Hey, Elsa. Yes, Elsa. Welcome. Let me say hi to Elsa in the chat here, right? I'm kind of getting more interactive with the audience. Okay, so if we look at what his powers is, like, this ain't no joke power, man. Like, oceanic abilities is pretty powerful. So I wanted just to kind of get a framework on what are we talking about when we're talking about what the Deep's powers are, right? Because obviously most of the time when they were on, they were on land, So you're a little more limited, but you really shouldn't be, okay? So let's define how important oceanic power is, right? Because you're not just swimming in the ocean. This isn't just swimming in the ocean power, right? That's not what the power is, right? The ocean covers 70% of the Earth's surface, right? Just think about that. The Earth is covered, most of the Earth, the majority of the Earth, 70% is covered by the ocean. It contains millions of species onto itself. It regulates the climate. It produces most of the oxygen that we breathe. It's one of the largest living systems on the entire planet in terms of an ecosystem. So if someone truly possesses oceanic ability, what would they look like? Like, and you wouldn't be a clown. Like that's the kind of the funny part about it is I get like you are to me you are a clown because of your behavior, right? What up, my name? But you really shouldn't. Please give me 3 rounds. I'm sure three. Oh man. Yeah. So he needs like 350, right? He needs $3.54. Somebody make that happen, man. We're a compassionate place, right? Make that happen for Metal Wizard. Although you come in here and beg, I'm the one who should be begging here right now. Like I haven't had one. You're door dashing. I made my lunch, right? I had to make my breakfast here. I made my egg McMuffin this morning, right? You know what? Nah, you just gotta wake your parents up, man. I'm just being real with you, man. That's a family. That's a family. That's a family drama right there. You're gonna have to wake your family up, right? So anyway, so getting back to the deep, I cut my hand because I put in a new ceiling window fan in there yesterday. But yeah, okay. So when we look at his powers, like let's talk about the most obvious power, and this is his ability to communicate with marine wildlife, marine life. That's not just I can hear you. This is actually exchanging information, right? So this means that you could talk to sharks, you could talk to whales, you could talk to dolphins, you could talk to octopus, clearly on the deep side, right? You could talk to squid, right? Fish, crustaceans. Every species in this world actually perceives that world differently, right? Like they all have different sets of stuff. If you talk to a shark and you talk to a squid or something like that, you're going to get a whole different take on what the world is based on all these guys. So all these species are seeing the world differently. A whale might know migration patterns that are thousands of years in span. An octopus might understand camouflage and stealth in the way that humans never do. Communication, like communicating among like killer whales. I know they're dolphins, but I like to separate them out because they're badass and they look bad. And I don't trust dolphins. I don't mess with dolphins, by the way. I'm all about killer whales. I don't mess with dolphins. Them things will rape you, man. I don't know from experience, but I've watched a lot where I'm like, yeah, be careful around dolphins, man. Like, if you're in the water with dolphins, kind of keep all your stuff tight, right? It's the best defense you have because you don't want to take one from them, right? And they're gonna try and give it to you, but that's a whole different topic, right? But this is what the deep has is you can talk to all these different types of creatures. So the level of information that you get about the world itself is got to be phenomenal, right? Like that's it. And that's your main powers. Like, yeah, I got this homie and I got this homie. What up, Krabby? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine like talking to some crabs, like your crab homies? What up, Krabby? Yeah, I know you're pissed off again, man. You're just rolling around crabby, right? Pun intended. So that's the ability that it has. Now, the next part of it is that your understanding of marine biology would be next level. You don't need textbooks because the ecosystem itself is teaching you about itself. You learn migration patterns, breeding cycles, right? You get feeding behavior, predator prey relationships, environmental changes, all this stuff goes on. Like you are the encyclopedia of the ocean, right? You're the point where you know every single freaking thing about the ocean that could be known, right? And then it's also underwater survival, which for us is great because here's the thing. We're terrible at us being ocean creatures. Like, I know we all like to go to the beach. I love beaches, right? I went to college in a beach town. Like, I've been to some of the best beaches in the world. Like, I've traveled a little bit and I know how to list of beaches. I've been to like at least, including the ones that are here in the United States. There's one here. But I've been to like three of the best beaches in the entire world. Like, man, I've seen it. I love beaches, right? And I love beach environments, man. That's where I grew up on the West Coast. Like, I'm living in the South now, and I love it. But I'm a Cali guy, man. Like I've always been near water, so this is kind of. Well, I mean, I'm surrounded by water, so it's just a little different environment. So I'm kind of getting to that. The water out here is in the air. Trust me about that. That humidity ain't no joke, right? Maybe the deep could do. Maybe I'm the deep now. I'm deep in humidity out here in the South, but I love it because women are so fucking gorgeous out here. I'm telling you guys, man. So this is what we get. Like, he can go places that we can't go. We need air. We need warm temperatures. We can only handle a little bit of depth pressure. Like, we're terrible at depth, by the way. I don't know if you guys realize this, but you're terrible at going deep down into like atmospheric pressures of being in the ocean. You're absolutely terrible. He gets all this stuff. See, these guys can breathe underwater. They can function in darkness. He can endure freezing temperatures. You can remain submerged indefinitely because you have gills. So you can stand there. So this becomes a whole different realm for you than it is to us, right? Where you don't have to fear it. And then the biggest thing is that pressure resistance. Like I talked about it. Like, you guys are terrible when it comes to taking on oceanic pressure. You're absolutely terrible at it. Like, you guys can't take on anything. The deeper you go underwater, the more pressure you get. And after a while, even like submarines crash. Submarines like burst and all that stuff. You could get crushed by this. So a genuine ocean ruler would have to have a body that's capable of taking on these deep trenches, these abysmal like zones where it's dark, like extreme pressures, man. And just like there's all like down there, man, this is the rawest world ever, man. Because everything's trying to eat everything. If you're smaller than me, I'm eating you. They don't even really be discussing it very much. Like, I know it probably inside they have their own discussions, but I'm telling you, if you see somebody and they're bigger than you about to get ate. And if you see somebody smaller than you better eat it, right? That's how it goes there. So in a distance to that, right? And then the other component that he gets is superhuman swimming. Right? The ocean, fucking gigantic, man. This is huge. It's enormous. So travel and travel speed matters. A person ruling the sea couldn't really move at just normal speeds, right? You have to have some type of enhanced propulsion and greater endurance. You have to have hydrodynamic movement to get through the ocean, right? Crossing hundreds of miles of sea in hours. That's what you have to do. This would make the sea your personal kingdom. You know everybody. You understand all the situations. You're able to be everywhere in the sea where you need to be. So that's it. And then the big part is, I don't know if you guys ever notice this, right? When you look at the ocean, there's no roads in the ocean. The fuck are you supposed to get anywhere? I did not see one sign, right? I know they put buoys and stuff up, but there's no street signs because there's no streets. So when you're out there, there's no landmarks. There's no like, oh man, Texas in 10 miles, all right? Like Dallas, 148 miles. Okay, that doesn't exist in the ocean. The ocean is just more ocean. So you have to be able to navigate. Like, think about it. Whales and turtles somehow navigate the entire ocean with extreme accuracy without any street signs, without any, like, I mean, like, I'm living in a new city and I'm telling you, I don't even go out without GPS on. Like, I don't even take the time. It's probably retarding my ability to learn all this stuff, but I'm telling you, I rely on all that technology just to ease the load on my brain. Like, I want my brain focusing on other stuff, so I tend to like offload as much work as I can. I know you guys get that. Like, we use our AI. It's not about you, you're smarter than me. It's like I gotta offload some of this menial task where I can. And navigating, that's a menial task. You tell me that while I'm just driving. Now I can pay attention to what's going on. Right? I'm not navigating in the same sense. So that's kind of what oceanic powers means. You're navigating currents, you're navigating tides. Magnetic fields are a part of this. Migration routes, right? Underwater geography, all this stuff is there, and you got to know where all this stuff is, or you're never going to get there. You're lost at sea, lost in the middle of the ocean. And then on top of all that, you literally have command over sea creatures. Communicating with them is one thing, which is nice, right? But you have command over these things, man. That's a whole thing. Imagine you could direct a school of sharks, man, or a pod of dolphins, right, to rape everybody, right? Or like giant squid to do your bidding. Or my favorite of all is orcas, by the way. Like, imagine I got a team of orca. And I'm just like, we huddle up, and I'm just like, yeah, look, it's about to catch this dude over there, man. You see him over in that boat right there? Don't look directly at him, right? Don't look directly at him, Orky, right? Let's be stealthy about it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you go over here on the backside. You're going to set a defensive screen and cause a diversion, and then we're going to ram his boat from the front. Me and an orca could do that, right? Because they're highly intelligent creatures, and they know everything. So if I have an entire pod of orcas, man, I'm about to wreck some business. And that's the kind of power that the deep actually has. Entire fish populace. Have you seen it? Like, I saw a video, man. It's on TikTok. And I got to stop getting my news from TikTok, by the way. But you'll watch this on TikTok, so I guess I really can't complain. But this woman swimming in the ocean, and she's near this giant school of fish, and like they surround her for a second, and these things just fucking veer. These fish are just like, now we're over here, and they veered off, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's so beautiful." But the guy narrating it, which he could be a liar, I don't actually know this guy. I'm just gonna be really honest. But basically, he said like this school of fish are actually like extreme carnivores, and if they had detected any blood or she had a cut, they would have swarmed all over her, right? So she's lucky in her suit. There was no exposure or anything like that. But that also exists in the sea. So you do have control over all that stuff. And then I think there's even eighth component to this, man. Like and I'm like I said, I hated the deep. I hated everything about this character. I never liked the deep, not one moment of the day. And I don't like Aquaman in any iteration they have. We'll talk about Namor later because he's different. The other thing, the highest level of oceanic power is actually influence over the ecosystems itself, right? So you can control coral reefs, fisheries, food chains, population balances. Like you've got everything, oceanic health. You're no longer just a marine superhero. You can become a guardian of this entire biosphere. This dick doesn't do it, but this is what's capable. This is probably what highlights why it's all so bad. This is what makes who the deep actually became even worse, right? Like you're even worse. Like you're even worse because you could have been. First of all, there's no reason you ever should have been bowing down to Homelander like that. Go into the ocean. Like, why would you want to be in the Seven when you can be king of the ocean? Or at least, it seems like he could be king of the ocean. He could have set up his own empire in the ocean. You control all the animals. Everybody's down with you, or they were, right? We saw that all went away. Like you lost all that. But you could be running the sea. And could Homelander even touch you in the sea? Could Homelander touch the deep in the sea? I think that's an interesting question right now, right? Like in a real environment, if I'm in the sea, can Homelander stay down there long enough? Like, does Homelander still need oxygen? Just a question. Just a question. Could the Homelander, this is what his OG name was, got it right? Could the Homelander attack the deep in the water? Like, would he need the capacity to be able to hold his breath? Or how long would it be? What's the scenario if Homelander jumps into the ocean with the deep? How does his power hold up against the deep? Right? I think that's a pretty significant thing. Homelander could attack deep. Might be one of the most to fight him. Yeah, see, the deeper they go down in the water, that's obviously your name is the deep. Like, this is how functionally you really should have dealt with Homelander, right? You should have told Homelander this and then just dove deep into the water. He's gonna come after you, right? Like, he's gonna come after you. You could attack Homelander in a lot of different ways. Like, you can breathe indefinitely down there. You're far more efficient in the water. You can navigate the ocean, and you could potentially command millions of sea creatures to set him up. Like, maybe you attack with like microorganisms first, right? So all these things. So you do have some advantages there. Now, Homelander, 500 feet deep while trying to hold his breath, right? Because you have to hold your breath. Homelander needs oxygen. As far as we can tell, we haven't seen Homelander go up to the upper stratosphere or any place where he would not need oxygen, right? So now you got to fight against the deep. You're looking for the deep, and you got to navigate, right, against the deep. Do your eye beams even work on the deep, like in the water? So this is a couple of things here, right? And then you got sharks, giant squid, orcas, whales, massive schools of fish. Like, even if they're just obscuring your vision, right? Even if they're just obscuring your vision, even if they're just sideline, like not direct attacks, right? All of a sudden, the deep is a lot more dangerous, right? Now, your heat vision is still terrifying, but I'm concerned, right, about using your heat vision, because even a laser has trouble traveling through water. Like, even a laser can cut through a building with an air, won't necessarily be that effective over hundreds of feet of water. So his best weapon probably gets nerfed out a little bit, right? Like that, we could say that if nothing else, you're more disoriented. Like, the sky is your environment. Now you're here. So could the deep actually be him in his environment? in his environment, I'm gonna give it a possibility, man. I don't know. Like, first of all, like if the Homelander, okay, if the Homelander needs air, then it's a problem. How far can you pursue? How far can you go down before you have to get back up to get to oxygen? Like, there's also the risk of electric shock. There's eels. Like, if he has this thing sculpted right, can you necessarily, like, what are you gonna? Are you gonna attack and then you're gonna fly up to get air and then you can turn around and come back in? Like lacking oxygen, like being reliant on oxygen, that's a problem here, man. That's a real problem. So it just kind of gets into like the mindset of the deep. Like maybe you didn't need to be such a deep bitch, right? Maybe you didn't need to do that, right? Because like diving into the ocean, I'm just gonna live down here. You probably can't even find me. You probably can't even find me. Even scanning the skies, you probably can't even find the deep down here, right? You know what I'm saying? So locating him is not going to be easy, and then you're navigating, you know, all the elements of running out action. Now maybe because you have an enhanced, you know, mechanism, maybe you can go down longer, but you know, but how long is that? There has to be a finite amount. So this is it, right? The Deep has superpowers too. So can you break his neck really quickly? Probably. But look, that's if he just stands there. If he moves, if he uses his weapons properly, they could have taken it. They scouted, they set up where they're going to have him at. This could go down. Like the, you know, the Homelander could have been gotten by the Deep, man. I absolutely believe that. But that's not really why we're here. That's just kind of a side note. Okay, so let's talk about the actual Deep. Now we understand the powers, all the powers that go along with saying I'm the ocean dude. You know, this will apply to Aquaman, all those guys, right? So this is kind of where we get into the deep. Because given everything that he has, given his whole power set, you would think this would be a confident guy. Like you would think that that's what he would be. But that ain't the case, is it, right? The deep is exactly the opposite of this. He's not he's absolutely insecure 100% of the time. He's kind of awkward. Like even as a dude, he's kind of weird. He needs validation. He's in like the other ones. He doesn't project power for some reason. Having all this power and you don't project power. Like I don't get that. Maybe because you weren't really staying around your home. Like I don't know what it was. You should have been a lot closer to water. Like the Seven would have had to move to like a coastal city. There's no reason for you to not. Like why are you not headquartered at a place that gives him his optimum strength too? He commands the sea. This is that again. That's Vought for you there, right? And this is kind of what makes him interesting. Like everyone else in their natural environment, you're like, man, like you look at the Seven, you look at Maeve, you look at how everyone kind of projects this aura, right? Even Starlight, when she's starlighted up, man, it's pretty impressive. He's the only one who comes off not impressive, no matter what he does. So that's kind of where his psychology that gets into his psychology, like you know, mentally, like he's a tragedy. He's so desperate, right, to be something other than the ocean guy. He hates himself. Like he gets mocked. Like they're not just insulting his powers. Like people like trash him. They will laugh in your face. So he's constantly chasing disapproval from Vought, disapproval from Homelander, approval from the public. You know, approval from like his romantic partners. At the same time, you're a rapist, right? At the same time, it's like you saw someone and you're like, oh, I can take advantage of this. That was the thing with Annie. Like in the comic book, when Starlight gets there, I think there's like three of them there who like assault her. Right? It is a lot more like, yeah, this is the rite of passage. It wasn't just him going on a solo tip like, oh yeah, I can get mine off. So in the show, he was like, I can get one. But on the comic book, it's more like, yeah, no, this is actually what it is. Like they jump to it right away. So I think it's like Homelander, Deep, and Noor are all like, yeah, waiting in line. They're all like waiting for their turn with Starlight, and that goes down. So it's extremely raw. It's extremely raw how they do it. But he's still, you know, he's still the same douche. So publicly, the douche that we call the Deep is like a superhero version of a spokesperson. That's really what he is. Like he smiles for the cameras, he poses with dolphins. Like but he talks about saving the ocean, but his power set says he probably could actually do something about it. He just chooses not to. So that's kind of where this guy is. One of the few people on Earth who could actually access an entire separate civilization. The ocean isn't just water; it's an entire world. Billions of creatures there, all sentient, and like how many hot octopus. What was Ambrosia? Was she an octopus or I'm not sure. I think Ambrosia was an octopus, right? how many hot octopi are down there in the water? So like you got a whole kingdom. Why you're hanging on to the 7, I have no idea. Right. So that's kind of his role. Like his power breakdown, like we said, you can communicate with everything. Fish, sharks, dolphins, right? Whales, crustaceans, any marine animal, right? Is he talking their language? Or is he reading their mind? Because that's a different power. Like it's even how is he doing that? It's pretty interesting. Whether he's speaking their language or if he's reading their thoughts. So he has a couple. So if that's a form of telepathy, it's not fish language. Is it mind to mind communication? They never really explain that, but that would be an interesting component to know. Then obviously, like I said, you would think someone who has access to just all this knowledge, right? Just every bit of knowledge that the ocean has. You know, in the ocean, water holds more memory than anything else. Like water is memory. I don't know if you guys know that. But water's memory. So the ocean has memories of everything that's ever went down. It's all there. Knowing everything, migration patterns, like how people move, locations of shipwrecks, pollution sources, underwater structures, like underwater like gold, everything out there. All the treasure that's in the sea. You know, come on, man. You could be quite a lavish dude, and I don't know why you need to be taking smack from Homelander, but you know that's the big part. And then he isn't just got this telepathic ability; like his body, of course, is engineered for the ocean, right? He's got gills, so you can extract oxygen, directly from the water. That takes away the greatest limitation that we as humans actually have. So you can stay down there submerged indefinitely. You could live down there. You're resistant to the pressure, which is it's not deadly for us. It's not even a problem for you. So you can go deep down in there. You got strength in organs. You have everything. You can swim extremely fast. So you get, we see you do have superhuman strength. So everything, like all this stuff comes along with it and command. And, this is where he is. Like, you can direct predators. Sharks don't work together if you guys realize that. Like sharks are not all on the same team. Every shark that you see, they're all independent contractors, right? Each one of these guys got their own project that they're working on, their own belly. So this is what he has. He has sharks. Think about an army of whales used offensively, right? These are living biological tanks up to 100 tons. He can run the sea. He can run the sea. I have a spy network, a freaking octopus. Hang on to the ship, climb in, see what you can find out for me, Octi. Right? Think about that. So he has all these opportunities. And so people underestimate him, but I can't say that he should. What he gives off should be underestimated or is even overestimated. He was a terrible character, right? But it shouldn't be that way. I really look at like how they came with making this character the weakest character on the show. Everybody depends on the ocean. We don't think about this stuff. We're heavily dependent on the ocean. Trade, shipping, food, energy infrastructure, military fleets. Like, this is all the deep's domain. Everything that I named here, all these important stuff, like getting food and products and USB cables over to me, all has to go through the sea. Like, we know that, right? The air, yeah, you don't get nearly as much stuff going through, the plane as you do through, or planes as you do through ships in the ocean. So he's at the hub of every important thing that we need. Like the water is absolutely traffic ways. Money moves because of water. Culture moves because of water. All this stuff moves because of water. And you control water. This is big water. So that's who the deep is. I've kind of talked about, if you're coming to land, I talked about like what it meant to have oceanic abilities. Then I want to give a little understanding of who Kevin or the Deep actually is. Now I'm going to talk about some characters. I think the fun part, use some characters that are kind of similar to him. Like, let's take a look at some of the Deep type characters, right? And there's no one quite like the Deep, but obviously we know where he comes from. So we got the big ones up here, right? Like the Deep, Aquaman, Namor, my favorite, and King Shark. Okay, excellent bevy of variety of guys here. I'm gonna pop out here for a second so we can just look at all this, right? Okay, so let's look at the first part, right? The Deep, right? The Deep is the fell sea ruler. Aquaman is the ideal sea ruler. And Namor is the arrogant sea prince. Whatever. He's got his issues, but I like Namor, man. And King Shark is the ocean's predator, right? He's instinct. He's all that, dude. He's rah, 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 rah. So, the deep, his relationship with the ocean, he's a hero, man, who has oceanic abilities, seeking relevance. Aquaman is the king of Atlantis and the protector of both the land and the sea. Namor is the prince of Atlantis and defender of his people above all else. And King Shark is a giant monster who wants to bite you. Get in my mouth. Now, each one of them possesses, like a different approach. The deep communicates with the sea. Aquaman rules the ocean. He commands people and its resources. Namor claims the ocean itself, believes it is his birthright and his domain, and you better not show up over there. Whereas King Shark is just a monster, right? How they come to power is very different. The deep tries to earn, status. The Aquaman still leads with duty. Namor manages expectations, and King Shark just relies on what's in front of me. This is all brute force. So we see a lot, like, he's in big company. If you look at who he's in company with, maybe not as much King Shark, right? I'm willing to say not as much King Shark, but everybody else, you're talking Aquaman and you're calling Namor, who in each of their worlds, respectively, is one of the most powerful dudes out there, man. You don't want to get punched in the face by Namor, right? This is a powerful dude. Namor is actually a mutant too, by the way. So there's a lot that goes along with the comparison. Who he's most like, who he's most similar to, and that also tells us a lot about him. Like he's not like, the character. Obviously, we quickly recognized it in him. Like we recognize the Aquaman associations just because we want to make a joke about Aquaman, and I don't like Aquaman either. But there's no reason for him to be such a such a validation seeker. I think that's the part that's really putting work in, is how much as a character he's overall, kind of reduced himself down to be like, you made yourself just like trash to the deep, to Homelander. And he treated you like it, man. Like you weren't even worthy of him like killing. He's like, I'd rather just watch you just be miserable. And he said like he knew he went right to the heart on you too, man. That was a tough part. So always, with this channel, everything, no matter what, links back to mythology. So let's look at the mythological roots of the deep. And this is easy, man. Like we've always been talking about God powers or oceanic powers since the earliest day. And you can see who's up here. We have some Irish, we have Greek, and we have West African, right? So Poseidon we know about. He's probably the most famous of all these. He's not just a sea god. He is representation of humanity's fear of the ocean itself manifest. Ancient sailors depended on the sea for food, for trade, for exploration, all these things. But the ocean would sometimes destroy entire fleets without even like a warning about it. So it became tough. So Poseidon became this manifestation, right, of how we mastered the fear, that we get some type of control over the ocean. That's what he becomes. He represents that for us. His authority is over the creatures, the storms, the earthquakes, the navigational route, and the coastal kingdoms. He gets the coastal kingdoms too. I don't know why that is. So compared to him, obviously the deep is lacking a lot, like no storm ability and all that stuff. You don't actually have any authority, but you have that mess. You are a representative of the sea. Now, the next one we look at is Yemaya. This is the Yoruba representation, and she's really, really different. She's not all that power and dominance. She's relationship. She's relationship with the people, with the ocean itself, and everything that comes between. So she's protection, she's fertility, she's healing, she's ocean life, 100%. Like rather than ruling the ocean, she's also portrayed as being a central being who's connected to it, almost a part of it. And that's a different lens from the deep as well. Is he connected to him? Throughout The Boys, he shows genuinely emotional attachment to a lot of marine animals. Like he was in love with Ambrosia, right? Who was his friend? Timothy, man. Like I still shudder to think about what happened to poor Timothy, man. Knowing that you're home, I can imagine sitting there and someone tells my homeboy, yeah, eat him. And I'm like, nah, dude, don't eat him alive. And you actually go about doing it while I'm screaming. I didn't realize it's going to happen. I had no idea I needed to be afraid of my own homeboy consuming me one day. And Timothy didn't think that either. But that's what happened. So he represents like a really weird, sexualized, like, and that goes back to the knock on. I believe still that goes back to like the criticism of Aquaman. I think he was the first one who was called a fish guy in that way. So I think that's where that all comes from, which is still fine. And they've tried to change Aquaman a couple times. And I gotta say, I don't like any version of Aquaman. I don't know what it is, guys, but I can't get over it. Namor is my favorite. Like, I love Namor. I've read a lot of Namor. He was an Avenger. So I didn't like the new MCU version of Namor, but I get it. It wasn't like horrendous or anything like that, but it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. So I mean, even like I said, they made like the version that they came out that I grew up with, like that whole Justice League thing with Batman, Superman, like all that was so bony. I never liked any part of that. So I was never able to enjoy that. But that's essentially what the Deep is up against. This is kind of who he compares to. These are the archetypes. I'm gonna have these each one of these infographics uploaded at the channel. So if you guys ever, think it's useful to use these, like they're there for you, I actually want you guys to use these things and spread them around. Like at least be like, yeah, I got it from the homie over at Namor Chronicles, right? All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit more here, and I got a fun section where I'm going to kind of chill out a little bit, and let's bring my logo back. And this is my absolute favorite thing to do now, because I used to do kind of the verses, but that got to be boring, man. Like I really want to test, like, what's up with somebody showing up at your house, right? I don't know if you guys realize that. So we're going to take a walk down. What if they show up at your house lane with some interesting characters, some characters that most of us know and are pretty attached to, right? I'm drinking a lot. I'm drinking a lot of coffee today. So this is how we judge the characters, right? Oh man, I didn't want to reveal who that was in the back, but it's kind of messed up now. Okay. So this is how we evaluate the characters. We talk about our first impression of them, how they roll up, their power level. We have some discussions about their character. We're going to ask some questions about their motivations, like why are you specifically at my house, specifically right now? We're going to talk about the best case scenarios for them to be knocking at my door, in the afternoon. We're going to talk about the best case scenarios. We're going to talk about the worst case scenarios. And then I'm going to give a final verdict, right? So these are a little more random. Sometimes I'll do them in like bigger groups. This is a little more random because I had some characters I wanted to knock out. So the first one is Ramsay Bolton, right? The first character to roll up in my house and knock on the door today is Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones, right? And here's the thing with Ramsay. Like, I think you're a hideous looking person. I really do. Like you show up. Nothing about his smile is charming or anything that it's already problematic. Like you don't look happy, right? You look like you just did something very horrific. This is what you look like. You look like the villain. He's definitely enjoying, discomfort that you see when he shows up. That's the whole thing with Ramsay Bolton, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like we know it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we know it. Let me see if I can grab this image for you guys here. Let me see if I can get this one over to you. Because this is an important one here, right? This is kind of oh, come on. This is kind of essential Ramsay Bolton, right? Where'd you go? Look at this. Look at this expression. This is no one's fault but your own, right? This is nobody's fault but yours that you smile like this. I don't know why you choose to smile like this, but you do. It's very off-putting. At to say the very least, it is very off-putting. I don't like any parts of it. So when you smile, I'm already like, uh-oh, right? Something's wrong if this guy is getting a smile on. And that's Ramsay Bolton, right? And Ramsay Bolton, so when I see you right off the bat, you don't get the benefit of, oh, he seems like a nice guy or anything like that immediately because you look like the absolute terror that you are. You absolutely look like the terror that you are. Now, overall, I'm evaluating this guy like hospitality. Man, this guy tortures people. Like I'm not expecting, right? Okay, so I don't know why you're doing the hospitality. Like, okay, so what we're gonna rank him on, what we're gonna rank Ramsey on, obviously, is that first impression, which right now to me, it's not really doing a lot of work for him. It's not really helping him out very much. Um, to have this look on your face, right? These are the seven. Like based on the seven here that we're getting to. So first impression's terrible, right? Just because of how you are. The first impression is going to be terrible. Now the second thing I have to think about is how much power do you actually have? Like your reputation tells me you're sadistic, you're cruel, you're manipulative, like you're smiling because you're about to do something terrible. Now power is where you get a little bit interesting because this you're not like Homelander or Darth Vader, right? I need a blunt. Is that I need a blunt? A blunt 80s. I need a blunt too. So you're not Darth Vader, you're not Homelander, you're not Michael Myers, right? But you're still a skilled fighter compared to me. You're experienced hunter. You're a very ruthless tactician. So you know you're a threat. An ordinary human can't theoretically stop him. Like I could win a fight with Ramsey Bolton if he showed up. Maybe I get that fight. He's gonna cheat, and he's probably already got his weapons with him. But as long as I got my weapons with me, and I'm also willing to cheat, I got a shot. But I do have to contend with, man, this is a very dangerous person. So then we shift on character, all right? And how does he treat other people? Well, we don't even have to ask. We don't even have to get into how you treat other people. Like we know the mannerisms in which you conduct yourself. It's just utterly ridiculous, right? You enjoy doing harmful things to people. So yeah, you know that's I'm gonna have to remember that about you and just kind of again act accordingly. Now here's the thing: motivation. Why are you here at my house? This is gonna be a disaster no matter what he says. So if he comes to my house, you're lying to me about something. You have some goal, whatever you have as a goal, I'm just gonna get out the way because I don't want to die because this guy's a sicko, right? And that's what Ramsey is. So like the best case scenario, and it ain't good. It ain't good. Is that he comes by and he's like, I just need some intel. Tell me about this, and I'll leave you alone. Maybe come join my house. Maybe you try to get me to come join your house. The worst case scenario is like, yep, man, this fool over here pulling my skin off, right? Like, man, what are you up to? Oh, man, just getting flayed. That's what it could be. That's the worst case scenario, Ramsey Bolton. You could be getting flayed. You could be being psychologically and physically tortured, right? That exists with him. So he's very, very dangerous. This dude is very, very, extremely dangerous. So I don't see any positives. I see zero positives out of letting Ramsey Bolton into my house. I can't see any reason why I would do this. Like first impressions low, power skills very high, and that's a bad combination right there. Um, what is this character? Yeah, his character. Yeah, you have zero. Is this the first time I'm gonna say someone has zero redeeming character qualities? Am I actually saying that? Possibly. Like after what you've done, man, I can't see one positive thing about Ramsey. I just saw you torture people, so I don't know if there's any bad side. So do you get in? Hell no. Like that's actually easy one. You do not get in. You're not getting in. And I'm glad. And stop coming over here. Call Jon Snow on you because he knows how to handle you, right? So the next one here, who is this? Oh man, this is a good one here. This is River Tam. If you guys aren't up on River Tam, like then clearly you didn't watch Serenity, which is a great series. And what's that guy's name? I know it's Gina Torres, Alan Crook. Who else? Morena Baccarin, Adam Baldwin. So if you haven't been up on the show, this is a great show. It's a great show. And River Tam, this is one of my favorite characters. This young lady who plays this is Summer Glau, who also plays Cameron the Terminator. But today we're talking about River Tam, who shows up at my house. Now, the thing about River Tam is you got to be very, very selective about River Tam because there's a lot that goes along with River Tam. And She's also a great person. This is going to be a little more interesting because on first impressions, she rolls up, and overall, I feel good about her. Like, I feel good about her. River Tam shows up, I'm feeling pretty positive overall. I'm not going to lie, right? Like, first impressions, she always kind of rolls around. I mean, to me, in my eyes, she's always kind of this lost little girl. She kind of looks like a little girl, right? She's not threatening. She seems a little weird. Like, you do talk in fragments. You're hyper weird about your circumstances around you. So I might be thinking, man, this girl needs a little bit of help or meds, at least, right? But you also kind of get a sense, there's something behind that. And there is something behind that, is that they've been messing around in her head to develop, to let her powers and abilities out. Now, is she extremely powerful? Yes. On that realm, like, you look at her and see her size and her vulnerability, you don't see her as a government experiment, which is what she is. This is enhanced cognitive abilities, near superhuman combat abilities, ability to dismantle multiple attacking opponents, right? While looking absolutely like she's harmless as hell, right? Like, that's the whole thing. She seems like she's harmless, but she's absolutely not harmless at all. Like, this girl is out there. She absolutely gets after it. So that's who she is. Now, when I start getting out, it's a lot. She's a disturbed girl who's got a lot of power and government experience. All that stuff adds up to, man, I don't know, right? Honestly, that's how I take it. But that's why we do more than this. That's why I move on and I say, what's her character like? Like, what's her character actually like? Like, fundamentally, she's a very innocent young girl who is curious about the world and loves other people and generally wants to help other people. Now, if she's at my house, if she comes to the crib, she's seeking safety. Because remember, the government's after her, right? She's running from someone. She's trying to protect someone. These are all understandable things. But I don't know if you can come to my house. So the best case scenario is I help a frightened young woman, and I gain a friend who just is like a nice young person. That's a good goal. The worst case scenario is that the government agents who are following her finally catch up to her at my spot, and they're stomping me out. They're breaking my mouth because I didn't warn them that she was out there. So final verdict, I think she has high character. I think her motives would really be good. And I think the base case scenario with her is pretty high. So I gotta say, man, with River Tam, yeah, I'm letting you in. I'm definitely gonna let you in. Oh man, okay. Do I let Dr. Victor Von Doom in the house? Oh man, let me see. Do I let Victor Von Doom in the house? He doesn't have beef with me, right? He actually doesn't have beef with me. Now, when he arrives, like, here's the thing: he's very scary, and the mask is gonna knock you down. The entire outfit is gonna knock you down. But Doctor Doom is very well spoken. He's well educated. He understands like skills outside of what he does having value. He's calm. He's in control of himself. Like Doctor Doom ain't no joke, man. This guy is a genius, or like the super villainous of super all villains. Power set, ridiculous. Absolutely power set. One of the greatest scientific minds on Earth. One of the greatest sorcerers on Earth. Combine those two, and you get something quite ill. You get advanced armor. You need time travel capabilities. You need reality altering technology to bring him down, right? That's what you need to get him. So that's how powerful this guy is. He cannot be taken for a joke. Now, this is where his character really matters because he is kind of arrogant. He is kind of running the show immediately. And that's this is him. He's not Ramsay Bolton. He's not just cruel, but he's got some arrogance. He's ruthless. He's vindictive. Like, that's who Victor Von Doom is. We know that. So what's his motivation? This is where we all get back to it. Okay. Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Doom? What does he say then? What does he say to get access to entry into the house? Because even if we got you running around, you guys just can't be doing whatever you want. So, like, this is the whole thing. Why are you over here? What do you want? And it could be very scary, right? What does it mean to me? Okay, well, the first thing is like, does it have something to do with Latveria. Like, are you on a diplomatic mission? Or are you here because you're fighting against a fantasy? Whatever it is, I need to know, and I need to determine it for myself. Now, the best case scenario is that we have a great conversation and we end up being friends. The second case scenario is, the downside of that version. He comes out here and he starts setting it up. Like, but think about it, man. Talking to Dr. Doom, like, everything. Like, what up, Doomy? Like, come on, man. Why are you even trying to mess? Let's go kick it right now, man. You can do everything. You're a genius, technopath. You got mystic abilities. You make force fields. You be doing Indian bows, right? You're all about that life, man. So overall, I'm letting Dr. Doom in. I'm going to take that risk. He's not just a murderer, right? He might buy the company that I work for and fire me, but that happens a lot too. But you guys didn't know that. So with Dr. Doom, like, yeah, I can't even see I want to let you in because I don't want to let you in, man. I already know it's going to be. There's no way that it ends well with you. You're calm and all that, but man, you're off the hook at the same time too. Oh man, Dr. Fate. Man, this is a good one here, man. I must have went on a doctor run. Okay, so Dr. Fate from DC Comics shows up. Dr. Fate is at my door, right? Dr. Fate. What do I do? Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you, man. First impressions is a doozy with Dr. Fate, man. Armor gleaming up like it is. The blue with the gold. You got your helm over it. Eyes looking on slant. Like the whole comedic, like art style. It's an 8 out of 10, man. It's an 8 out of 10. You do a brilliant job repping this character. I love it, right? Like this is all about who he is. Now, again, what's his power? Well, it's pretty good, He will get a scale up or down based on the version that he is. It's really tough because we haven't given him solid numbers I can just go back to, or even like a solid category, so we can kind of put them all in, right? Now, character-wise, high character. Absolutely high character. Absolutely a high character guy. And Dr. Fate. Like, we know that about him. He is that dude for a reason. Then his motives. Why are you here? Well, you probably got some mission that you're on. Probably some magical threat has been thrown away or someone's trying to get it. And you think that I bought it in the garage sale. Now you're here. The best case scenario is that he arrived, saved my life. The worst case scenario is that it isn't fake. The deep state is actually here, actually doing this stuff. So that's what we have to look at with Dr. Fate. Like, Dr. Fate is like, because he's such a cool character, like the best case scenario is like Dr. Fate shows up at my house. He's probably gonna save my life. Like, if he shows up here, do I have some artifact here that you're looking for? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. But if you come at my house, this is probably a protection mission. Like, you're probably watching out for me. Maybe I get some extra wisdom out of you. Like, it's probably not gonna be bad that you showed up. I have to make some tea or something like that for you. The downside isn't fate. It's the thing that comes along with him. It's all the haters for him being a villain all these times. All those guys actually come back. So, that's what you got rolling around with Dr. Fate. And this is the guy that was in the Black Adam flick with The Rock. Yeah, this character, Pierce Brosnan played this character. So great character, like overall, like high morals, all that. This is an easy, trustworthy character. Easy. So, long story short, like, does he get in the house? Absolutely, right? Absolutely, he gets in. There's no doubt about it. I don't even have to check twice. Like, it's more like, what took you so long when you finally get here? What took you so long? All right, now Dr. Manhattan, man. Isn't he radioactive? I'm gonna assume he's not. Dr. Manhattan shows up. Dr. Manhattan. Okay, that's the crazy thing. Like, I'm gonna be really honest. Like, you show up and you're cripped out. I'm like, I might be like, yeah, I don't know if we're in the right neighborhood for you to be repping it, for you to be flying colors so bravely. But okay, but power, but like, what you are, you materialize at my house. He's not threatening, right? He's not threatening. He's calm. He's almost attached. Like, so if you fear him, it doesn't come from aggression. It's coming because you seeing something so much greater than you, right? Is really what it is. So could I be cool? Yeah, I could probably. Is he naked all the time though? If you're naked, this isn't gonna work. So I'm assuming you kind of cover up that part, right? Now the power level this is where it all just breaks. Like he entirely breaks any scale that you could have, right? Any scale or barometer for measuring power. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he can reassemble matter, disassemble matter, like see past and future events. He can tell whatever he wants to do. He can exist in multiple spaces. So he's all that. He's powerful. And this isn't Homelander kind of powerful. This is like God kind of powerful. You're basically like a force of nature at this point. Now, if I have to look at his character, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, right? It gets a little weird. He isn't evil, not even close. But he's so disconnected from humanity that he don't care about us. And that's why I'm like he doesn't hate you. It doesn't hurt me, but I don't care. If anything happens, he's like, well, that was just what nature's plan was. Why would I stop that? And he's right. Like when we actually look at it from that point, if there's a meteor headed toward the Earth right now, he's just like, yeah. Do you know there's a meteor headed to the Earth right now? He's like, yeah, I know there's a meteor headed to the Earth right now. Who do you think's sending on its way to Earth? Right? So that's this whole thing. He's not malicious to us, but he doesn't care about us. And that apathy makes it tough. I'm going to put him in like a 6 on that. Now, his motive gets really scary because you don't move unless it's something big. You don't make random visits. He didn't just stop by. He didn't just think about it on like Tuesday. Do you know what I'm going to do later? I'm going to go over to his house. That's not what he did, right? He knows what he's doing. He's moving in a whole different way. So his motives will matter. It probably means I'm important for some kind of future event, or that I'm a divergent and reality starting to split off of something I just did, or you're investigating something, which I thought you were all knowing. Why are you calling me for? So I think all this does help him. Like the best case scenario, okay, he shows up, we sit down, we start chopping it up. It's a good conversation. To me, that's the best case scenario right there. Like we have a great conversation. You feel grounded and talking to a human. I talk to you, how you feel, how you look, all that stuff. Like, tell me what's going on with you. I know you're detached, but that doesn't mean you don't necessarily need someone to talk to you. So that's how I'm looking at Dr. Manhattan, that I'm not going to be afraid of him because I do recognize that you're like, would you kill me? Yeah. Could you kill me? Yeah. Have you killed me? No. Like, that's what I can kind of stand on. It's like, yeah, I get it, but the power level that this guy has, just it's absolutely insane. So whatever he wanted to do, like he could do it. So that's it, the power level he's at. So if he shows up at the crib, yeah, I'm gonna let him in. I think it might be an opportunity to talk to this cat, but he doesn't move for no reason. So if he's moving, he's probably hunting somebody down that it's gonna be a problem for them later. Like that's pretty much what it is. But a great character. Oh, Dr. Mist. Yeah, let's talk about Dr. Mist. I don't know if you guys know about Dr. Mist, but Dr. Mist is a DC character, right? And I would say he's kind of equivalent to Doctor Strange in a lot of ways. So, this guy rolls up like he's polite, he's calm, he's very thoughtful, he's soft spoken. So, he isn't hiding his cosmic energy, but obviously he doesn't believe that makes him something special. Like he radiates, hey, I've been doing this for a long time. It's very comforting, right? You see how his eyes have got the third eye for him there. So it's comforting, but he's a little bit unsettling at the same time. Because it's like, damn, what are you? You're so calm. Now, this dude right here, I'm telling you, Dr. Mist, this is easily Doctor Strange rival here, man. As powerful as him, ancient magic, immortality. I don't even know if Doctor Strange has that. Mystical knowledge, energy manipulation, torture, powerful spell casting. So he ain't new to this, man. He's absolutely quite true to this. So I'm really all about this character. What is his character? Extremely high character, right? He cares about other people. He's wise, hasn't allowed his equipment to get rust. He was taking care of everything. Like he moved on stuff, man. This is the dude. Like, so Dr. Mist, like he doesn't have Doom's ego. He's not detached like Mr. Manhattan, right? He doesn't have an obsession. Like he's a main character who still feels like he's human. He got real power like that. So why would he be at my house? I don't know, man. Maybe he's warning me about something. Maybe he's protecting me. Like this. These are his like machinations. He's seeking some information. He's preventing some type of magical disaster. Like he's on point, man. He's proactive instead of reactive. We're the pro-vengers over here. Now the best case scenario is I just sat here and talked to Dr. Mist for like an hour and smoked like 3 joints. It was great. He's the coolest guy ever. We're gonna kick it on Tuesday and like play Fortnite together. That would be the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that, he brings some of that danger with him. And that's the truth. Like that actually does happen to a lot of these comic book scenarios. Like you bring it along with you, even when you're trying to be, completely stealth about who you are. Like you got to be really, really cautious. So with this dude, man, this is easily, I believe, a Doctor Strange equivalent in Marvel. Never blown up. Like you definitely get in my house. But we're gonna talk about what you're doing over here in a minute now. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this dude. Like a great character. I'm glad I got a chance to introduce him because he doesn't really get a lot of coinage and run. So back to okay. So Doctor Strange. Okay, Doctor Strange. So I think overall, we kind of realize with Doctor Strange, right? We kind of realize with Doctor Strange, we're not worrying about Doctor Strange. We're worried about what Doctor Strange is here for. I can skip through a lot of stuff right now and get to like, what are you doing here? Once I've gotten over like, wow, Doctor Strange is real and he's really here, I can get past all that stuff now. Now I'm ready to have a conversation about you. So like the first impression of him, it's not going to be terrible, right? It's not going to be a terrible thing, right? Where are you at here? It's not going to be a terrible thing if you pop up and you see Stephen Strange. He's calm, he's intelligent, he's very professional, right? Seem like you're kind of tired, bored of everything, kind of snotty, but yeah, I get it. Like you don't project, I'm here to dominate you. You're a relatively decent guy. Like I don't like you, but you're relatively decent. But like all the guys on the show, like your power level so far is just nuts, man. High level power, magic manipulation, reality altering, dimensions, time stop, the full gamut, man. Create magical shields, astral project anywhere you want to go. He's got it all about it. His greatest weapon isn't any of that, though. It's actually knowledge. Now, character wise, it's pretty high. Like his bad traits, he's arrogant, kind of a dick, overly confident, secrecy, willing enough to make hard choices. But at the same time, like we get him. He's been through it. He's been humbled. He falls in love. He doesn't end up with her yet. So we're kind of watching that whole part out, like what's going to happen. So it's a lot. He hasn't paid no cost for being in the role he is. Now, what's the motivation, Stephen King? Why are you knocking on my door? And that's gonna matter too, because there could be some magic artifact that's nearby. Could be an accidental, like I'll open something up. I didn't like from the Necronomicon, a demon's look at whatever. There's a lot of reasons why he could be here. The best case scenario is that he fixes some supernatural issues that he saw going on in my house. Let me tighten this up for you. The worst case scenario is now I'm in a danger zone and I got to go on mission 2. So that's what we don't want, at least for me, right? That's the part I want to avoid. So that's Doctor Strange, man. We went through some doctors here today, man. Like we seriously went through some doctors here today. Oh man. All right. This is a tough one here because this is Hit Girl, man. This is Hit Girl. What's her name? Mindy McCready, I believe is her name. Hit Girl shows up at the house. Do I let her in? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not letting that girl anywhere near my house, right? She shows up looking like a little kid. Yeah, but you're way too off the hook, right? Yeah, most people kind of lower their defenses, but I know about you already. You're small. I will call the police. Like you will stand right here and I'll call the police and get you. But I ain't doing that. I'm not letting you in. Yeah. That's a non-starter. But overall appearance, she looks like a cute girl. Like, that's what I'm saying. Most people would see that as a cute girl. She doesn't have superpowers, but she's elite marksman, elite knife fighter, professionally trained combatant, right? Like she hits all the bing, bing, bing. This girl can whoop my ass. She's fearless. She can get down with it. Not needing superpowers, but she can get down with it. Hit Girl's no joke. Now her character gets a little bit complicated because she's fundamentally a good person. She has vast loyalty. She's very courageous, even reckless. She's very compassionate. But she's also known for extreme violence, very questionable judgment, and a tendency to solve problems with guns, right? And I don't know, maybe she's evil because she likes all that. We don't call her evil. She's just operating with a very different universal kind of belief system. Like, this is kind of who she is, right? Like, She gets after it. She's very, if you're a villain, I'm killing you. That's like her universal, like, I'm gonna make it easy to justify what I'm doing. And of course, this comes from her pops. So she's programmed this way. So she knows Big Daddy, this is what he taught her about, right? Again, it's quest to get revenge. So does she come, like, what's her motivation? Why are you here? Why did you show up in my house today, Hit Girl? Okay, well, maybe you need some help. Maybe you're looking for some information. If you're hiding from criminals, I guess I have to help, man. She's a little girl. I'm not going to send some little, even though I know she can fight, I'm not going to send some little girl out there to deal with it. I'm not going to let you get jumped like that if you need safety. The best case scenario is she shows up and she needed some help, and I was able to help her. Maybe made her a sandwich too. And now I got a friend. Now I got an ally like that's named Hit Girl. So if anybody messes with me and they do something, I'm gonna be on the phone crying like, Hit Girl, yeah, they jumped me over here, and Hit Girl's gonna come over and handle that business. So best case scenario, this is my little homegirl right here. I'm looking out for her, and it's kind of crazy. The worst case scenario is that Mindy brings all kinds of nonsense along with her. All the people seeking revenge, like, you're dealing with the highest level of gangsters, but goddamn, like, maybe you need to back up off, because like who you're bringing around the crib, this needs to be discussed, right? But that's the only threat. That's the only threat. The only threat to Mindy McCready is who's chasing you today, right? And if you got away, if you handle your business, you're not a problem. I feel no threats from you at all. In fact, yeah, let me get you a little glass of milk. I know you probably like that, right? So we got Doctor Strange. We got Minnie McCready. Oh man, I'm gonna skip you now because I'm gonna come back to her later. But I want to talk about this dude because this is an interesting guy right here, Mr. Glass. Man, do you guys remember Mr. Glass? Is he still known, Mr. Glass? Because this is a dude I heavily remember, man. This dude we know as Elijah Price, man. Elijah Price, Mr. Glass, self-dubbed Mr. Glass. What do we know about him? Like, man, it's a lot. We know a lot, and I'm going in with full clip because I got a game plan. Because you're a murderer, man. You be killing people. And you really disappointed me with all that, man. You had me thinking these accidents would happen, but it's your crazy ass doing this stuff. So when he rose up, like, what's his first impression? Well, I'm not going to be like, he's hot, but he's polite. He's very intelligent. He's extremely well spoken, nicely dressed, dapper, looks very, like physically frail. So you kind of let your guards down a little bit. So he gets in. Like, overall power, what power does he have? Like, physically, none. His condition means like he has extremely fragile bones. So he's very limited on power, but he really compensates just with his brain. But he, on power wise, like, he is very much just limited. Now, the whole thing about it is like, okay, so his power's not great. What's his character like? Fucking terrible. Like, terrible. You're terrible. Like, there's a gigantic red flag around you because your behavior and your character is absolutely insane, and you will justify everything. So I have to remember that, like, yeah, you don't get a boost from character. A lot of people got a boost from character. Ironically, you didn't. Yeah. Ironically, it stayed the same. Now, your motives, this is what I also have to question is your motive, right? Because this can be terrifying. You cause whole trains to crash, like looking for one type of person, right? I mean, that's insane, right? But that's what he does. So, like, your motives are probably always bad. Best case scenario, I get a chance to talk to one of the smartest people I've ever met, and then I zap him with the gun, and you evaporate, right? Like, that would be the best thing. I get you here for a limited period of time. We can talk about history. We can talk about comic books. We can talk about mythology. All this. That is absolutely the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is you set me up, you put all the things in motion, and now I'm dead. Like, you knew I'll be over here at certain times. So you manipulate these person to be over here and kill whoever I was at that time. So there's a heavy risk of manipulation and just overall raw power. She's still a very, very beautiful goddess. So if someone like I'm repping for her, I would completely understand that. So my final verdict on her is that, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Glass, you're not getting it. I'm sorry. I just can't do it, man. Like, I'm too vulnerable to what you are. And I think you know that, which is why you're grinning so hard. So, You're a real villain, dude. Like, you're a real villain. I can't trust you at all. You killed too many people. Okay, let's say this. Let's say they were looking at Nemesis, the Greek goddess. Nemesis, the Greek goddess, is at my doorstep. The first thing I'm like is, let me make sure it's all cool. This is a goddess of divine justice. This is a goddess of retribution. This is a goddess of balance. This is punishment for arrogance. This is punishment for excess. She is not evil. She is quite literally benevolent, right? But she balances everything out. Obviously, when we're looking at her, obviously, she shows up. She's looking regal. She's looking calm, divine authority. She's in control of herself, right? So we know this, right? This isn't her greatest strength. It's a tool that she can go back to whenever she wants. Now, her character obviously is impeccably high. Like, I don't think she's got one bad story on her resume. Like, no tardies, nothing like that. Came all the time. What's her motivation? Why are you here, Nemesis, right? I have a friend who named his daughter Nemesis, by the way. What's your motivation? I don't know. Like, did you see something? Like, what's going on? I don't know what kind of scenario would bring her to my doorstep. The best case scenario is that I haven't done anything wrong. She's just checking it and she builds a box around it. And that preserves, the plants and all that stuff, right? So this is who she is. She's kindness. If she shows up, what's the best thing that can happen, right? I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm not facing judgment. I feel pretty good about that. So it's good. It's good news. She punishes the arrogant. So I gotta kind of be a little worried about that. So it's not necessarily about being innocent. I might gain some wisdom. I might get some perspective from her. I might get some protection from injustice. The worst case scenario is the opposite of that, where she's like, yeah, you deserve punishment and you're about to get it. No lawyer, no nothing like that. So overall, the verdict is, yeah, she gets in. Most of the time, I'm not worried about it. But I got to say, if my conscience isn't 100% clear, I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant, right? Like, that's how I got to see with her, man. If I don't, I'm doing myself a disservice, right? Like, I'm just being real about it, right? But yes, she does get in. Yes, this Greek goddess gets in, right? So those are our would we let him in the house today. Our myth lab was, of course, talking about the deep. So we went through a lot of conversation today. For everything that has an infographic, I'm going to have all these graphics for you about oceanic powers and the comparison gods to him and the myth comparisons. And I'm going to upload those when the rest of this videos are up. So you guys have some questions, some likes, some dislikes. What would you like to see me talking about? Hit me up in the comment section. YouTube, get on that, man. Like, get on that comment section. Whereas TikTok, you guys do a great job, like kind of keeping me filled. So I appreciate it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna log this bad boy off. I'm gonna head out of TikTok first, give you guys that salute, and end it. And ask you twice, so you are done.